Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Try It Out Adventures. I'm so excited to be sitting on my couch that has just recently been installed in the van, but we have another thing going into the van today and it's electrical. It is the exhaust fan that is a Skylight and it's going to go on the roof. So let's get started. First things first, we're going to unbox the fan. First thing we have is the cover. So this is just going to go on the inside of the van on the roof, and that will help protect and seal the inside of it and make it a nice white finish. And the unit itself, it is a dark blue finish. It does have that for the Skylight so that it lets some light into the van, which I'm really excited about. But let's take a closer look. So here's the two pieces that came in the box. It unfortunately doesn't come with any instructions, but you have the fan itself, which is a full width fan. I did see on Amazon, there are some fans that are really small and they only take up about a quarter of the size of the entire Skylight. But this fan is the full diameter, which is really nice. And then you have the cover itself. You have the power cords, positive and negative. And down here we have our power button, reverse because this is an exhaust and a fan, and then you have the power to turn up and down. So what I'm going to be using for today's job is a jigsaw for cutting out the hole. Going to use some masking tape for that as well, and I'll show you why soon. Rust guard epoxy like I did when I did the floor, and just a paintbrush. To seal it up I have my silicone and silicone gun, and then also some tech screws and my self-tapping drill. Good to go, let's get on the roof and get started. The first thing I have to do is measure out my square cutout, and the good thing is there's a 340 by 340 square, and that's in millimeters. Perfect thing is that it measures well within these two ridges and around this square cutout, which is where a vent would usually go on a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter. So I got the template all marked out, it's nice and square. You're wondering why I put the masking tape down. It's so I can visibly see the line when I'm making the cut, and also so the metal doesn't fray so badly. I'm just gonna go ahead and drill out the four corners just so that I can easily get the jigsaw blade in there and then jigsaw out the square. Just like we did in the flooring episode, I'm going to go ahead and epoxy enamel the clean cut that I just did with the jigsaw on the roof, just so that it is rust proofed for the near future. Now that we've given that epoxy some time to dry, I'm going to go ahead and silicone and screw down the vent and exhaust fan. First, I just want to mention, make sure that when you put your fan in, is that the hinge faces the front of the van, because you don't want wind to be able to pick up the front of the van if you put it in the opposite way. Hinge goes towards the front so that it can open up this way, just for wind resistance. Make sure you do that. Okay, so we have a nice double bead of silicone all around the edge of this fan. Very, very generous, and then we'll also go ahead and put silicone above it once it is screwed down into place. But here we go. So my day at the factory is done, the fan is in. As I left, I had to run back to Bunnings and get some more silicone, as I'm just about to jump on the roof and silicone the daylights out of this thing, just to make sure that it is watertight and there are no risks of leaks, and then we'll get stuck into wiring this bad boy up.
that we have these connections crimped, I'm going to go back and trace the old line that I ran before we did any of the cabinetry work. I'm going to get rid of all of the slack to make sure that I can make a clean connection to the 12-volt fuse box. Now that I have a lot of slack out of the line, I'm going to be able to cut that and keep this wire for any other applications. But I'm going to go ahead and use the negative and positive terminals on the right hand side there as the wire is coming out just from the bottom here. I'm not going to put the fuse in yet because this is a live system, and then once the fuse is in, the fan should be operational. Sorry about that. That was really hard to get some good footage on that just because the cabinetry work is all in. I tried to film it, but I'm going to go ahead now and put in a 5 amp blade fuse, and that is going to be plenty of ampage for this fan. I'm not too sure if you guys heard it when I put the fuse in, but I did hear a beep, so let's see. Hey, we have a fan. Oh, that feels so good. You can turn it up. It has, I think, 5 speeds on the fan. Oh, that's super quiet too. I'm really impressed with that. And also, if you hit the reverse button, it should stop, and then it says after about 5-10 seconds, it'll go into exhaust mode. So I guess we just wait for that, and there we go. Well, that is it for today's episode. A quick installation, but everything went well, and I'm so glad to have that fan in here because it's going to do wonders on these Queensland hot summer days. Even in the winter, I sweat so much today, so it's going to come in real handy. But I will go ahead and link all the items that I used today in the description below. Thank you so much for watching once again. I appreciate all your feedback. If you have any comments, please go ahead and put them down in the comment section below, and I will get back to you with the best response I possibly can. Once again, a lot of these things I'm trying out for the first time, so it goes to show that you can do this yourself as well. So please stay tuned. If you haven't seen the other previous van build episodes, please go back to the start, subscribe, like. It helps me tremendously. I do appreciate it. Keep watching, and we'll see you next time. Feels good. How about this hair growth?